You want me to put that on my Tudor?
Harry's wife. A damaged brand. If you accept that Harry's wife has a brand in the first place, and it is somewhat debatable, then the suggestion is that it is damaged. Camilla Tominey writes in The Telegraph, "The Harry's wife brand is damaged. She needs to find a new image to present." She then poses the question, might we see the Duchess of Sussex run for president? Tominey writes, "The Queen looked wonderful at Royal Ascot this week, sporting a Dior dress not long after the French luxury brand denied rumours of a collaboration with the Duchess of Sussex. Perhaps the timing was just a coincidence, but I cannot think of a more stylish way of avenging Prince Harry for describing Her Majesty as dangerous and a villain." Dior was forced to deny that there had been any recent contact with the Duchess amid talk of an imminent brand ambassador role. Coupled with the joint decision with Spotify to end her Archetypes podcast after just one season, it seems she might be having a difficult time finding a job she can settle down in. But as her popularity continues to tank in the United Kingdom, what the Duchess really needs is a complete rebrand. Now, pausing there. A rebrand is just not going to work. Why? You need to have some talent. She hasn't got any. She has rebranded so many times previously. I'm the author. I'm the kind mother. I am the politician looking at parental leave. I am the philanthropist. I am the bananatarian. I am the fashion icon. I am the content producer for television and film. None of those things has worked. And people have seen those repeated attempts and now would just laugh at the next attempted rebrand. Indeed, only a day or two ago, I reported on the name rebrand that had been touted. Add to that, not only do we see the chameleon-like behaviour that is so obvious, she cannot get away from the fact that she's largely disliked. That so many people have now come to accept that she tells lies, revises history, is a grasping opportunist, that told nasty smearing observations about the royal family, that flip-flops in her views, that is talentless but expects to be paid the earth, that even those that might have supported her or even have given her a chance now look upon her as increasingly irrelevant, annoying and frustrating. Owing to the fact that so many people want to see her fail as a consequence of her behaviours and fact-check so much of what she does, she cannot move without it being reported on, and simply does not learn that she needs to keep her head down and stay away. Of course, her brand of narcissism won't allow her to do that, so she keeps popping up and making the mistakes. But a combination of repeated attempts at rebranding, allied with the fact that she is not liked, forges a result that it's any further rebrand just simply isn't going to work. Tominey continues by explaining this week a poll by YouGov found her favourability had fallen to a record low of minus 47. See Parts Passim for analysis about that. The figures come after the Sussexes claim to have been involved in a near catastrophic car chase through Manhattan that the NYPD later described as a challenging transport situation. It did not take long for people to ask how a car chase could even happen in that area. For many, it must have seemed that recollections varied too much. Tominey writes, the big problem for the Duchess is that the victim narrative no longer works. It's not just that people are now hardwired to question her every claim, which of course is as a consequence of her behaviour, that people now look at her with inbuilt scepticism, that even if she were actually being truthful, and narcissists can be truthful as you understand it to be, people just won't accept it. because she's told so many lies previously. But also, the problem that she has is that anyone struggling to pay the rent and keep up with their mortgage payments no longer feels any empathy for a couple complaining from their Monty shitshow mansion. Tomine asks what are the options. She states that she doubts a lucrative deal with a luxury fashion house would do it. Perhaps she'll get into modelling instead, touring the world's fashion shows. Well, pausing there, how would that work? She looks like SpongeBob SquarePants. A short, no-waisted, dumpy little individual with chicken legs. And there are plenty of much more attractive models than her. Or, Tomine suggests perhaps a return to television sets as an actress, if anyone is willing to take her. Again, plenty of actresses out there. Why would you gamble on someone that's failed and is disliked? Or maybe, just maybe, we will see her run for president. In the run-up to the 2020 US presidential election, some Democrats clamoured for a celebrity candidate to take on Trump, fighting fire with fire. For a short time, Oprah Winfrey was considered to be a serious contender. The Duchess might want to take some notes. Now, Harry's wife is deluded enough to believe that she could become president, but she hasn't got a snowball in hell's chance. She does not have the backing, she does not have the base support, and, moreover, her brand of narcissism is such it just wouldn't be able to cope. There's no doubt as well that so much that has gone on in her past which hasn't really been raked over by mainstream media would be if she ventured into politics, and it would, in effect, crush her. She lacks the charisma, she lacks the sound bites, she lacks invention, she lacks the ability to engender inspiration in people, although she believes that she does. She lacks all of the qualities that certain narcissists have that make them engaging politicians. Of course, she has that one factor of many politicians is that she repeatedly lies and revises history and is manipulative. But those factors alone are not going to be sufficient to aid her in getting into the White House or even having anything close to a reasonable stab at it. As I explained elsewhere, she's actually going to continue with the victim narrative alongside trying to find somebody else that'll bankroll her. Harry will be on his way out, she'll look for some billionaire instead, and then, alongside being propped up by that individual's wealth, will roll out her sorry tale of how she was abused in her marriage and how it was Harry that caused all of the problems. There'll be repeated slating of the royal family, perhaps even amped up because she is no longer with Harry. But she's not going to spare him, and she will talk about the alleged abuses and dole out more and more pity plays. But what about people below the line? What do they think with regard to the suggestions of Tomine? Major Tifto, if only they'd gone quietly and lived with simple dignity over there, we'd all be rooting for them. Ian Cowie, if the Americans can put Biden in the White House, anything is possible. My view responds, swap Kamala for Harry's wife. They are very similar, especially talking lengthy nonsense. Wise Owl. The biggest problem for the Duchess is that she doesn't know how to behave as one. She has a trophy hubby and is found denying the 6th and 7th in line to the throne access to their king. Ignoble, no class. Peter Scott. Might we see the Duchess run for president? He responds, when her popularity has sunk off all the charts. Anything, of course, is possible, but I strongly suspect that she and Poodle Harry will become an end-of-the-pier show in not very fashionable seaside resorts. They have nothing else to sell now but their brand as wronged royals, mewling and puling, whimpering and whinging, and eventually selling this performance for not very costly tickets in dingy theatres. Harry can neither go back into the British Armed Forces nor as a role as a working royal. Harry's wife has demonstrated to the world in spades that she has fallen out with every single member of her own family. Not uncommon, of course, for a narcissist to do so. Has got her husband to do the same with his. Again, not uncommon for a narcissist to do so. Acquires and loses friends and employees like shoppers through a revolving outer portal in a department store. Again, not uncommon for a narcissist. And is seen to be utterly toxic. Derek Rigby, run for president? Are you deluded? The great John Lee, the person behind the brand, has simply been sussed for the nasty and vacuous piece of work that she is. Michael Morley lost her sparkle was finished when she and the whinger flounced out of here and tried to monetize their privileged victimhood and privacy. They left when the British public had shown their genuine affection because of the usual press antics and their own, or perhaps just her, ambition. Nicholas Lindsay, Harry's wife for president? A completely ridiculous idea on every level imaginable. Peter Benninger, no, she doesn't need to find a new image to present, she just needs to go away and not come back. Stephen Welford, why would a fashion house pay someone who is now pretty much universally disliked to be a brand ambassador? They may as well sign up Putin. Roderick Cooper, she may try and rebrand herself when she separates from Hapless. She will say that she was always a lovely person, but being married to a damaged dopehead meant she was unable to show her true loveliness. That, of course, is partially accurate of what she may well seek to do. Susan Graham, what is rather irritating is how journalists from all sides of the world see this woman as a standalone celebrity, as if she were a Hollywood superstar. No, she is not, and has never been this special person who is covered in stardust. She was never a Hollywood star, never a great actress, never a great political campaigner, and certainly never, ever an all-round, lovely, kind person. And certainly not as intelligent as she truly believes herself to be. When she was and remains, is a little-known soap actress in a straight-to-cable second-rate TV show, a divisive and jealous destroyer of family relationships, and a truly talentless non-entity who was only famous due to her marriage into the British royal family. Like her? Not much, no. Pretty accurate summary there of the way that she is. Bryony Clark, she's 20 years too old for a fashion house. Auckland McIntyre, she needs to find a new image to present. Harry's wife could go for the headless chicken approach, hopefully. Johnny Good, what are your best bets on divorce? Can we even lay bets yet? I'd say in 2 years, 2025. Edward Treen quotes, she might be having a difficult time finding a job she can settle down in. The only job she could settle down in would be one with an astronomically high paycheck, no requirement to actually do anything, and oodles of sycophantic adulation. And she deserves this because? ? Identifying, of course, there her sense of entitlement, her desire to do nothing but be paid lots, her lack of accountability for actually doing anything. Amber, Astra and Christo, why does she need a new image? They have enough millions in the banks to live a comfortable lifestyle away from the media with all the privacy they crave. Or why not just go and get a normal job? Catherine Eyre, the best luck for Harry's wife to try would be complete disappearance. It would be a global hit. Echo Fox, I really hope she does run for a presidential nomination. That is an absolute surefire route to obscurity. She would undoubtedly lose comprehensively against Oprah or against AOC or even a Biden hologram. Betty Stringer, even the Americans can see through her now, so no chance of the presidency. Andrew Hicks, Harry's wife is a narcissist, not a politician, and certainly neither bright enough nor tough enough. Her record shows that she runs away as soon as anyone challenges her. There are some 800 comments following this article, and none are supportive of her. People know her for what she is. And no matter how much she tries to rebrand, driven by her chameleon-like narcissism, it simply isn't going to be sufficient. But once again, she, blinded by her narcissism, will never, ever understand this. And she will keep trying and trying until such time as people just turn their backs on her and offer her nothing. No money, no adoration, no criticism. Just the howling wilderness of silence.